He's a little arrogant piece of shit, I think.
I just don't like him.
You finish with a little prick.
In a domestic rivalry that can be described as a throwback to the Chris Eubanks Sr. and arch nemesis Nigel Dark Destroyer Ben rivalry, there is legitimate spite and hatred between the United Kingdom's Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall also. But where both Eubank and Ben were both English, Taylor and Catterall, for some, will bring with it a little nationalistic fury as both fighters keep the embers of an ancient conflict between Scotland and England smouldering when they finally meet again for their rematch this coming May the 25th in Leeds, United Kingdom. For the fighters, I'm sure it's about settling personal scores. The bout is a non-title bout, but who needs titles when you have a grudge match this intense? Let's get into it! Former super lightweight undisputed champion Josh the Titan Tornado Taylor has had somewhat of a fall from grace since defeating Jose Ramirez in 2021 to become that division's undisputed champion. The Taylor, who put on a scintillating performance against the Californian, was seemingly missing in action in his first undisputed title defense against the tenacious and feisty Jack Catterall in early 2022 when they met for the first time in Taylor's native homeland of Scotland. After becoming undisputed, Taylor quickly became a hometown hero and Scotland's second favourite son, many will argue, after former lightweight champion Ken Buchanan. Although Taylor had achieved more as a professional boxer than Buchanan did and still does hold a folkloric place in the hearts of many Scots. Regardless, Taylor quickly went from hero to heel after his contentious split decision victory over Catterall. Most onlookers felt that Taylor did not deserve the win, Catterall most of all, and he's been chasing that rematch ever since. But injury woes suffered by Josh Taylor scuppered the initial rematch, and Taylor vs Catterall 2 would be shelved for the time being. Perceived delay tactics and Taylor's injury problems forced Catterall and his then promoter at the time, boxers Ben Shalom, to move on after over a year of inactivity since the Taylor fight. Catterall would go on to face and defeat Dara Foley in mid-2023 and Jorge Linares later that same year in convincing style. In complete contrast, Josh Taylor would go on to lose his one remaining title, his WBO super lightweight title, when he took on relative newcomer to the division and his mandatory at the time, Teofimo Lopez. Taylor looked a shadow of his former self in that fight and was completely undone by Lopez's movement, power, pace, and speed. It left many wondering just how much Taylor had left in the tank and whether or not becoming undisputed had dampened some of the fire within him. The hard and spiteful hitting Taylor, blessed with both boxing ability and bite down on the gum shield stand and fight grit, was not present on the night he faced Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, given all his drama inside and outside the ring, surprised many that night and put together an inspiring effort. Josh Taylor will need an inspiring effort too against Catterall if he's to silence all his critics and doubters, of which there are many. Jack El Gato Catterall has been purring like a cat in recent performances since his one solitary and dubious defeat to Josh Taylor more than 2 years ago. Even before the Taylor fight, Catterall has always looked to be a difficult opponent to face. Working behind a multi-purpose jab, Catterall uses his jab to obscure his opponent's vision in order to set up his backhand, or he can keep it out whilst retreating to keep space from his opponent, impeding his opponent's ability to step in and sustain or increase offensive pressure. Catterall's jab can also be a sturdy ramrod. What I like about his jab is the equal distribution of it, and he uses it to target both body and an opponent's mush. Catterall has the power in both hands, and coming in at a slight crouch, both his lead hand and back left hand have been responsible for some nasty uppercuts and liver shots that have sent those on the other end of his gloves to the canvas. Not exactly a one-punch knockout artist, but once El Gato gets into a rhythm and gets a flurry going, he can really wail on a fella and break them down that way. 28 wins with 13 by knockout or TKO. Catterall does have that one blemish on his record. By all rights, however, in the opinion of most, he should already be a super lightweight undisputed champion. Since that loss, Jack has been chomping at the bit to exact revenge on Josh Taylor, and after his departure from Boxer and since his signing with Matchroom, despite publicly professing that he would welcome a rematch with Taylor but is happy to move on to bigger and better things, the truth is that solitary and unjust loss continues to burn, and getting a win over Taylor is the only remedy. The only thing is there are no titles on the line. No belts this time, just redemption. Boxing and the world in general is funny in that the more you want something and the harder you chase it, more often than not, you'll never quite get a grasp of it, whatever it may be. The longing for revenge, constant head games and delays, the last one only just recently again due to a Taylor injury, which changed the original rematch date of April 27th to May 25th, along with the residual sense of injustice after the first time they met. I do wonder if this has drained Catterall to the point where it all culminates in an underperformance come fight night. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to get circumcised now in my mid-40s, but the optics for Josh Taylor aren't looking good. It's not just the constant injury woes, but turning up allegedly pissed up at the initial rematch press conference, and his overall demeanour doesn't give me much confidence that he is the same hungry fighter he was before becoming undisputed. However, I think Jack Catterall had a great night and was firing on all cylinders in their first bout. Clearly, Josh Taylor was not. Taylor has had ample time to get his shit in order, and I think the magnitude and significance of this rematch, with all the doubters and critics that come with it, will be too great a motivation for Taylor to balls it up. With not much confidence, I'm giving Taylor the benefit of the doubt. I think he is the better fighter than Catterall, with all things being equal. He has the better resume and is more accomplished. Jack Catterall will be the house fighter on the night, but I think Josh Taylor redeems himself in the eyes of the public and earns a majority decision victory. Let us know in the comments below who you think wins and how. Thank you for watching Pound for Pound TV. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates. See you in the next one. Check out our Patreon page to become a Patreon family member where you will receive some cool perks. If you're looking for some new threads, we've got t-shirts, hoodies, and much, much more. So head on over to our Michael Akobi Pound for Pound TV stores. They can be found on Redbubble and Spreadshirt. Join me on my travels and head on over to my other YouTube channel titled Barefoot and Free. There you can follow me as I traverse the many parts of our planet and occasionally get into a spot of bother. Nonetheless, it's always fun and entertaining. If you're struggling with some of life's obstacles and challenges, my book How to Get Out of Life Traps might just be the answer that you're looking for to help guide you through the difficult times. It's helped many get past some of their darkest moments, and it might do the same to you. You can purchase it on Amazon, where you can also find a wide range of my other works. Those works include screenplay to book adaptations, a fairly unique concept, with genres covering comedy, heist and revenge, drama, supernatural and crime, if that's more your cup of tea. You can find them by following the link provided.